I think I told the guys this morning, I think we've made some strides, but we got a lot of big strides to make too in the next 3 weeks. So obviously, Saturday was your first measuring point with a scrimmage. You get down there, you don't have the coaches holding your hand, not going off the script, so to speak. So you're in a game situation, and we did as many game situations as possible. So you find out a lot about yourself, you find out a lot about some individuals, where you are as a unit, and we got to make some huge strides in the next 3 weeks. Obviously, we've seen some guys that we all know about that are performing at high levels. I mean, Julius Wood, Tegan Wilt, the two safeties are returning starters, and they're playing like returning starters. Elijah Morris, returning starter, playing like returning starter. Jeremy Lewis kind of getting back into the mix now, and every day you see him kind of getting more and more of being Jeremy. And that's the same with the older guys. Chad, he's done some good things out there on the edge. He's done some bonehead things he's got to clean up too. I think he had 2 penalties on Saturday, and we just talked this morning as a defensive unit, like how much a penalty can kill you. I mean, he made a great play in the backfield where he brought up a 2nd and 12 and put the offense behind the sticks, and he lined up all sides. And then the first play of the game, we were in first play of scrimmage. I think we were in a look for a shot down the field defense, and they had a 5-yard run, and we had a face mask, turns it into a 20-yard play, so it turns into explosive. And then overall, as a defense unit from Saturday, we did some good things, but we can't give up the big play. I mean, you have 115 really good plays of a scrimmage, and you give up 3 touchdowns. You can't win ball games that way, and we got to get those things fixed. We got to do a better job of communication, verbal communication, visual communication, and just playing our tails off. And that's where we're at, and where we got to keep on protecting over the next 3 weeks and making strides too. And I think this week you have some third down stuff going in, some different packages, and we're finding out a lot about our guys who can be on the field for those third down packages, what they can handle. Can they handle playing a nickel or sandbacker, then on third down move inside? If they can, and I told a young man coming off the field, if you can handle 2 positions, hey, your stock rises. You can go play multiple positions on game day. I said, if you can't, hey, no big deal. We're going to keep it simple because we want to protect our culture so you can play fast and physical. And I said, but you're limiting yourself. So we got some guys that got to keep figuring those things out, and as coaches we do as well. So that's kind of where we're at and the direction we're going right now as a defensive unit.
You mentioned Wilk and guys on the back end, familiar names on the D line too, but you got a lot of new linebackers this year. So who's standing out at that?
Yeah, I think the one that stands out to me that really has just been here since the first day I got in the building, has worked his tail off. At times last year he was even talking about redshirting so he could save a year, but he ended up freaking playing all our special teams last year. Started in a bowl game, was in the mix at linebacker last year, and that's Taylor Jackson. And he's just done a really good job of taking ownership of that room, taking a lot of pride about himself, a lot of pride about how he does things. Every day this summer he was in the building and just kind of absorbing everything he can to be the best linebacker he can. So just really excited about him. He's a 4th-year player. We hadn't seen him much in the starting role up to this point, but so far in camp, he looks like he could be a starter in there. The other guys, they still got to figure it out in there. I mean, we got guys that they'll show up for 2 or 3 days, but they got to be consistent. I just talked to them about that coming off the field. Like, whether it's Mike Edwards, BJ, Kingston McKinstry, whoever it may be, they got to come and put stacked days back to back to back. It can't be 2 good days or just a so-so day. It's got to be every single day. So that's the ongoing battle in there, and some good competition, and they got to keep pushing each other till somebody comes out on top.
You've got some length on the back end. Do you think that will help, or is that just something that you've kind of overhyped?
No, I think certainly it makes my job easier. I mean, Siobhan Rebel, go look at him. The jump ball goes up, he's going to win most of those. Those 50-50 balls are no longer 50-50 balls when you're tossing up to Siobhan. And, Siobhan's had a good camp so far, and he's a guy that, we got to keep putting him in tough situations to make sure he's going to respond, make sure he's a guy we can count on game day. But he's made a difference for us out there, just play some more aggressive coverages, some things like that. And so really excited about him. And BJ Davis is another with length, but we got to get through just the points talked about, is just consistency there. Sam Danka is a guy that's really long, that shows some flashes. Still a young guy, but he got to start playing like an older guy so we can get him on the grass.
You mentioned defensively trying to limit the explosive, but you also want to be aggressive, kind of eat that mentality. How do you find that balance?
Yeah. Early on, we created the mindset, hey, 60 minutes of hell. Is I think Arkansas basketball was 40 minutes of hell. And, up in your face pressure, we're going to get after you, full court, blah, blah. The same thing we want to do defensively with our defense. We want to go create negative plays. And we talked to our defense about if we create a negative play or a sack on a series, the chance of them scoring is only like 8% or 9%. Also, if they don't have an explosive on a series, the chance of them scoring is only like 8%. But you give up an explosive, now all of a sudden that goes up like 90%. So those are things we talk about. And, we got guys that can run. We got guys that can move and play in space and more athletic longer. We want to use that to our advantage. And I keep telling our guys, like, this system, this defense is built for these young men. Just how athletic they are, how fast they move, how long they are, and just the experience we have in coming back is up front in the safety position. Feel really good about it, that, hey, everything else will come together. So super excited about that, and that still needs to be our mindset. Hey, let's go get some TFLs. Let's get after quarterbacks. Let's create chaos for the quarterback, whether it be by disguises we do or pressures we're bringing or whatever it may be. So, and that's how I want to play the game.
From your perspective on the defensive side, can you tell us how far Mason Garcia has come along from when you first saw him to where he is right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a guy I want to face right now. They're doing a lot of things and with him that I think's awesome and giving us a tough time on defense, making us work our tails off. And I think things we'll see throughout the season, whether it's in the pass game, run game, whatever it may be, that they're doing offensively is stressing us. So we got to certainly be on point with all that. And he's a talent. He makes some throws that, and then our players know it too. Like, hey, most quarterbacks in our league that we see this year won't make that throw. There may be a couple, but most of them, that make that throw are playing beyond this level. So we talk about that, but he's been awesome and just really super excited for him and the work he's put in and to seeing it to come to fruition and pay off for him.